It's a story that began with cooperation and an alliance. Before 1979, that's when the Islamic Revolution took place, and Iran went from being an American ally to becoming a nation that hosted and Israel found itself at war with those groups. So Israel had to make a decision. Either side with America and its allies, or side with the new Iran. They chose America. That's when the relationship between these two nations changed dramatically. It went from being friendly to hostile. But for decades, the two countries did not fight directly. Instead, they fought each other through proxy, mainly in Lebanon and in Gaza. Iran supported Hezbollah and Hamas and various Palestinian groups that were fighting Israel. In response, Israel carried out airstrikes against Iranian targets inside Syria. For years, they kept up this shadow war, but it was really more of a shadow stalemate. Neither side gained any ground. And then in the early 2000s, another big point of contention emerged: Iran's nuclear program. Now, Iran insists that their nuclear program is for peaceful purposes only. But the US, Israel, and the international community do not believe that. We have all sides with me on this one. Iran will not allow UN inspectors to visit certain sites. They've been vague about certain aspects of their nuclear program, and they've enriched uranium to 60% purity, which is much higher than what you need for civilian purposes. Now, it takes them about a week to enrich uranium to 60%. If they wanted to enrich uranium to weapons grade, it would take them about a month. So it is hard to say where they will be 1 year from now or 5 years from now. But their steady progress in developing their nuclear program has alarmed Israel. Now, if Iran were to acquire the bomb, it would clearly be a catastrophe for Israel. It would mean that all bets are off. Any kind of restraint that Iran may have had would disappear. So in the 2000s, we saw the beginnings of a new kind of shadow war. Israel carried out airstrikes against Iranian scientists and also against Iran's nuclear facilities. Iran responded by supporting attacks against U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. They also provided advanced weaponry to Hezbollah, and they also carried out cyber attacks against Israel. In 2012, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, gave a speech to the UN. He said that if Iran were to acquire the bomb, he said that Israel would not allow Iran to acquire the bomb. And that speech is still relevant today. Israel still says that they will not allow Iran to acquire the bomb. And Iran sees Israel's nuclear weapons as an existential threat. So while there have been no large-scale wars between the two countries, there's been a lot of tension. There's been a lot of saber rattling. And it's left many people wondering, when will the next war be between these two countries? Well, we got our answer on June 2025, when Israel launched the first strike of the war against Iran. This conflict has been building for decades. For sure, there's the immediate past, the recent past, but this goes back decades. And the relationship between these two countries has never been normal. Even when they were allies, even when they had good relations, there was always a sense that this could turn on a dime. That's exactly what happened. It turned on a dime in 1979. Relations went from being good to being very bad. So you have to go back to the 20th century to understand how we got to where we are today. Now we're here, June 2025. The date will live in infamy in both Tehran and in Tel Aviv, because that is the day when Iran and Israel went to war. We're living through it right now. I can tell you that because we have reporters on the ground in both countries. Our team in the region is led by our Tel Aviv bureau chief, a veteran journalist. Our Tehran bureau chief is also a veteran journalist, and he's reporting for us from the Iranian capital. We also have reporters in the West Bank, in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Jordan, and in Turkey. So we're going to be following this war closely. Thanks for watching. Go to our website to find us on your television provider. And don't forget to follow us on social media.